The Dzire is one of the most important nameplates for Maruti Suzuki, constantly being a top-selling model. And yes, Maruti Suzuki has sold around 27 lakh Dzires in the country since 2008. Quite commendable, and this new one seems like it has the potential to exponentially increase.
Finally, after 3 generations, Maruti Suzuki has decided to make the Dzire look quite different from the Swift. It's not a derivative anymore. It looks more like a standalone model that the company wants it to be.
But weirdly, it seems like Maruti Suzuki employed 2 designers for the front and rear ends, and both didn't seem to work in cohesion. When looked at separately, both ends look good, but they don't complement each other. And honestly, the previous gen Dzire looked more proportionate than this. Inside's the same story as the Swift, but like always, the Dzire gets this two-tone black and beige interior while the Swift's all black. And that's fine. The Dzire is supposed to be the more mature one of the two, no? And let's not dive too much into the features list here, as it is the same as the Swift. A 9-inch touchscreen, semi-digital instrument cluster, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You get the idea. And safety is a big thing now, with the Dzire getting a commendable 5-star result for adult safety at the latest round of global NCAP crash test. And you can check out our exclusive video covering each aspect. The Dzire gets the same petrol engine as the Swift, so you get a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder Z series engine, but the Dzire doesn't feel as sporty as the Swift because of the additional weight. But it's a fairly decent commuter that will get you from point A to point B without a fuss. The ride quality is quite bumpy though, and the passengers in the back seat are not going to be very comfortable. So will the dying sedan segment see some action, or is Maruti Suzuki hitting a shot in the dark? Only time will tell, but given how Maruti Suzuki has priced the Dzire, it seems unlikely that it is nothing but a hit, and gives its rival some thinking to do. This is Maruti Suzuki's second very important launch this year. The first was the Swift, and now the Dzire is here to shake up the sedan market. Or will it? Let's dig into it. Now, the first and most important thing to talk about the Dzire is how it looks. Rather, how different it looks from the Swift now. It's taken Maruti Suzuki 16 years to achieve this.
And yes, the new Dzire does look good, and its best angle is the front. It looks more premium, looks like it belongs in a segment above. You don't get the same headlamps as the Swift anymore. These wide headlamps add a bit of sophistication. So does this chrome strip that extends into the LED DRLs. There is this nice gloss black panel that sits above this wide grille. Moving on to the side, you see that the front fenders have this little flared wheel arch that add a bit of muscle. Not too sure about the design of the alloy wheels though. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. And when you come to the side, move back a further bit, you see that the new Dzire looks a bit out of proportion, especially at the rear end, which looks a bit stubby.
The tail lamps are stubby too. They aren't as wide as the headlamps, and it seems like the Dzire employs a completely different design language for the rear as it did for the front. It's as if there were 2 designers for both ends and both didn't speak to each other before finalizing the design. Odd, right? And the width of the car is more prominent from the front rather than any other angle. And as I said, it is the best angle for the Dzire.
Since this is a top spec model, you get a chrome strip on this black panel connecting the tail lamps. On the lower spec variants, you only get a black panel. Thankfully, there is no light bar connecting the 2 tail lamps, which has become an industry trend lately.
To be brutally honest, this isn't the worst looking Dzire. That award goes to the 2nd gen Dzire, and the 3rd gen Dzire still looked more proportionate than this 4th gen though. And Maruti Suzuki sacrificed the proportions to have better cabin space, and this is evident in the rear seats. The rear seat space is much better than before. There's ample amounts of legroom and kneeroom at the back, but you get very few creature comforts. There's just a drop-down armrest, a couple of AC vents, and a set of USB-A and USB-C ports, almost like the Swift.
The similarity to the Swift is more evident inside though. despite the fact that you get a black and beige interior compared to the all black that you get in the Swift. The cabin is still oriented towards the driver, made more evident with the angle of the touchscreen and the dashboard. And there's more chrome here too. So clearly, Maruti Suzuki is trying to make the Dzire feel more premium. And adding to that premium quotient is this, everybody's favorite, the sunroof, which is a first in the segment.
The cabin has too many colors and textures. Apart from the black and beige, you also get silver, chrome and faux wood on the dashboard. And in the name of premiumness, adding that diamond-like structure seems like a big miss. And while that 9-inch infotainment screen you see here feels appropriate, this is however only available on the top spec trim. Lower ones get a smaller 7-inch screen and the base doesn't even have one. The ones without this large screen look horrible really. Other kit carried over from the Swift includes a semi-digital instrument cluster, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, a wireless charger, but more importantly, the Dzire gets a 360-degree camera which the Swift doesn't yet. Could it come as an update later? Let's see. Now as standard, you get 6 airbags, anti-lock braking system, stability control, 3-point seat belts with reminders for all seats, ISOFIX child seat mounts, and yes, all of this is standard right from the base variant. And finally, all of this has made the Dzire quite a safe vehicle as it has achieved a commendable 5-star rating for adult safety and 4 stars for child safety from Global NCAP in crash test safety. Kudos to Maruti Suzuki! No points for guessing what's under the hood. Yes, the new Dzire gets the same Z series 1.2-litre petrol engine as the Swift, developing the same power and torque as the hatchback too. The gearboxes on offer haven't changed too. You get a 5-speed manual and a 5-speed AMT. No torque converter or CVT still. And unlike the Swift, the Dzire gets a CNG kit right from the start.
The Dzire doesn't feel as sporty as the Swift, but that's not a bad thing. It's designed to take you from point A to point B and go on those occasional highway trips. Both jobs it can do adeptly. But don't expect this AMT to be your friend. Its sole job is being as fuel efficient as it can be. And like all AMTs, shifts aren't smooth, and in the name of efficiency, it shifts earlier than it should. But there is a slight jerk that is felt while shifting gears, and that should have been smoothened out. But put it into manual mode and it holds gears for as long as you want it. Good for those overtaking maneuvers. The ride in the Dzire is quite bumpy, so clearly Maruti Suzuki hasn't tuned the suspension to be quite plush. It's a little on the hard side. So when driving over rumble strips, it can be felt. The folks in the backseat are going to feel a bounce too. So dealing with potholes is going to be very challenging.
The new Dzire is offered in 4 trims: LXI, VXI, ZXI and ZXI Plus, and unfortunately the base variant is quite bare bones. You don't get a touchscreen, it only gets steel wheels, no automatic climate control, but you do get keyless entry, a rear defogger and all important safety features. And now for the most important question. The outgoing model was priced between 6,56,000 and 9,34,000 rupees, and this one isn't that much more expensive either. It is priced between 6,79,000 and 10,14,000 rupees. And that's good since pricing is a very crucial decision-making factor in this segment. And that comes into play when you consider the rivals. The starting price is more compared to the Tata Tigor and Hyundai Aura by up to 1,79,000 rupees. But the Amaze is more expensive here. The top end and even the CNG variants are more expensive than all its rivals. So, has Maruti Suzuki done enough to make the Dzire a more premium offering? The fact that it doesn't look like the Swift is a big plus. and now has its own identity. But there is a reason to worry because Honda is getting the new Gen Amaze on December 4th. That means competition is just around the corner. This will be a fight to watch.